Yeah, welcome to Leave It on the Mic, our first episode with Johnny Storm. What up, Johnny?
What's going on, man?
I also wanna welcome a co-host, Hugo Strange. Yo, Hugo, what's up? You there?
What's going on?
Now, Hugo really has this great idea. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Hugo has this real good idea on YouTube. You should check it out, Hugo Strange. And he does this arena episode, and he breaks down who he thinks won and why. So check that out. But before all that, let's get into our interview with Johnny. Hugo, I'll let you start off the interview.
All right, so we're on Leave It on the Mic with Johnny Storm. What's poppin', Johnny Storm? What's going on with you?
Man, hanging out here, enjoying that Florida weather. What's going on with y'all, bro?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Now, I gotta openly admit I wasn't too familiar with your work, but over the past couple of days I've been watching your battles and whatnot, and you got some serious skills on you. So the question I think on everybody's mind is, who's next on your list?
Oh man, I've been hearing a lot of names on who could be next. As in, names brought up. I don't like putting it all out there, but because every time I mention someone on my personal list, it's more of a not really gonna happen. You can't really ask for all of them, but there might be something put together, maybe even with a QP or a Nestle. I've been trying to see what's up with them Smack Cats, see if any of them want to step up to the plate, but we'll see how that plays out.
I would be surprised that you couldn't really ask for a opponent. You got Served Disaster, Thesaurus, Sunny Bamboo. You Dirtbag Dan. You battled some pretty huge names. So and they battled some pretty huge names. So you're right now. You're definitely in the top tier as far as the Ozone is concerned and whatnot. And since Ozone started first, was first in grind time. You definitely got some presidency to kind of pick and choose your opponents. So, but yeah, QP. That sounds like that'd be really good. So far, after all the battles you've had, who do you consider to be probably your biggest competition?
As in my toughest opponent?
Yes.
I would. I'd have to say that
somebody you already battled.
Oh, all right. Well, I know from battles I've had, I would have said that. And everyone else has been the toughest matchups. Don't get me wrong. Like when I was going up against Locksmith, Thesaurus, The Real Deal, and shit like that, I knew I was expecting them to have some super heat. But the one battle that kind of took me by surprise on some, like, this guy is super prepared with High Collide. He was definitely on some next level wanting to win shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. The top competition as of then. And then, when I battled Disaster and them, or when Dirt came out, he was on a hot streak, just on a roller coaster streak through everyone. So that's why I wanted to battle Dirt and shit. That one went down.
Okay, I can feel that.
What?
How long have you...
now let me...
Go ahead, you go ahead.
No, yeah, I wanted to step in. I wanted to, get into, a serious question now, John, all right?
Yeah.
Lush comes out, with a video talking about Grind Time is back. Well, first, let me start off with this. I haven't seen you on URL or King of the Dot. Are you strictly Grind Time? And I just want to remind the fans that Grind Time did start off with you, and it started off with Grind Time Florida. It took off with Grind Time West, but it started with Grind Time Florida, and you are one of the original MCs, if not the original, correct?
Yeah, I was Direct brought it up to me after their first Grind Time battle, and it was really unnoticed, and he asked me to do the next event. And, I fucked with Direct because he just knew me from freestyle battles that I was winning down south, so I took that. And then, that's how it went down. It started down here. By the time the second Grind Time battle happened and I battled Mosh, it was kind of like that catapult battle that, first battle to hit its 50,000 views ever, and first battle to get on World Star Hip Hop and all that shit. So it helped everybody's eyes open up to what Grind Time was doing, and that's when everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Okay, and well, let me ask you about this. Have you seen Lush's video?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so now he's talking about that he wants to throw out that big thing and that there's a ton of money owed you. So I'm going to ask a personal question. You could choose not to answer it. Grind Time still owe you money.
Nah, Grind Time didn't owe me anything. They never did. I mean, they offered me more opportunities than most. You know what I'm saying? I always had good people in that corner that would look out. I mean, when Cap was doing his thing, there's one of the homies, you know what I'm saying, he looked out. Like, whenever there's somebody saying, yo, we want a top dude from such and such place, he'll throw my name in the mix and shit because he knows that I'll represent for the state right or whatever. I mean, and, like, going back to what you were saying about URL and King of the Dot, I mean, the leagues like even Don't Flop and the other ones, they want me to go out there. I'm already working that out and shit with and them to go out to Don't Flop in the UK. And King of the Dot, I'm going to have to, you know, we've been trying to work that out for a couple of years, but I mean, King of the Dot, you got to have that squeaky clean type record to really flow up in Canada well. So I'm letting a couple of years blow over, so when I do make a shot to go up there, it'll at least go through smoothly, and I'll get in that.
That's right, that's right. I did forget about the fact that it's mentioned on all your battles, so it's not like secret that, you know, you were on probation and whatnot. Again, if you have a question for Storm, call in 347-215-6721, 347-215-6721. It's Leave It on the Mic, and we got our first guest, Jonny Storm. He did us the honor of being the first guest. I thank you for that, Storm. I also want to ask you a couple other questions. Now, you don't need a clean record to get to URL.
URL, I mean, most of them got a clean record. If you notice, a lot of URL cats even go up to King of the Dot. It's really just URL is just freaking. They pick and choose. They're very selective on who goes in there because they don't want to mess up the URL image of their gun bars and cats trying to act overly gangster with it. They know a rapper like me is the type that likes to disprove that shit, and I would go there basically airing out their whole function. So I'm pretty sure keeping me out of URL is something that they want to do. That's why there's been plenty of times I could have even battled a rapper from URL outside of URL, and that might go down just so I can put them out on blast either way.
Who would you like out of that whole URL staff? Who would you like?
Man, if I was I would honestly, there's no one to really pick out of that group. I mean, I would love to battle anybody out there just to see how they can, if they're going to still come with that same shit or they're going to try to switch it up because it's me, you know. I mean, a rapper like Tech-9 or a rapper like anybody in that shit, they got their own charisma, and there's a reason why they're big out there, but I just never seen them really get put to a test either.
What about Hollow the Don? What do you think about that cat? Because that's one of the dudes from URL who's been battling in Grind Time and can do both.
Yeah, and Hollow's a beast. I mean, and the thing is, when a long time ago, when a lot of people don't know this, but in the first Grizzlemania went down in Florida, you know, that's the one when Conceited battled Ilmac, and there Conceited also battled Hollow, and I battled Locksmith there. Mad dope battle. That was one of the most classic fucking events. And, you know, Hollow came and approached me with Cortez, because that was the time when, you know, you could already start seeing who was actually shining out of the divisions. And out of New York, it was Cortez and Hollow at the time. And I was popping off down south. You know, Unorthodox Phrases, a few other names were kind of hot at the time down south. And then that's when Hollow was like, oh, I heard you wanted to battle the Dinanon. Because I had already put it out there in the air. You know what I'm saying? I already had spoken to Mad Heads like, yo, I'll battle whoever from the top out of any division. So then I was like, yeah, I could battle both of y'all, meaning him or Cortez. And then that's what, you know, Hollow kind of put it out there, like, you know, he'd rather fuck around on that music tip, you know what I'm saying, and work on music than actually be in that battle tip against me. And I was like, you know, it was a respectful way to come at it, like, you know, probably wouldn't even go down because you could tell that wasn't even in his thoughts. And then the same shit when I went to battle Real Deal in New York. And I went out to New York, you know what I'm saying? Hollow came through to the hotel room, you know what I'm saying? We got it popping off, bombed up a couple L's, and still chopping up same shit, you know what I'm saying? It probably wouldn't go down unless it was some really big deal that was offered to make both of us fucking happy on some shit, but I doubt that he's going to want to do it just for the fact that he's more on that respect tip, and we already kind of talked about that like years ago when it first started off. Now, I don't know if he would want to do it now. I heard rumors that he might have brought it up, but I doubt it unless it came out of his mouth, you know?
I mean, Storm, have you gotten the chance? And I know it would be a leaked video, but have you gotten the chance to see Roan versus Awkwards? And if you have, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I saw it on pay-per-view out here. You know what I'm saying? Because I was supposed to go battle in that event, but that's another story. But
really?
I was supposed to be out there.
I definitely thought you were on a card.
Yeah, I was supposed to. They were trying to put together me versus Sketch Menace. You know, because Sketch Menace had won King of the Dot and shit.
Oh wow!
And, they were trying to make me against him, and I was like, yo, that'd be great. I was Battle Canada's champ. You know, I've been trying to battle someone from Canada forever. So, but you know what I'm saying? I guess Sketch, it wasn't working out for Sketch at the time, so I just watched the shit on pay-per-view and shit. I was at this house party and Awkwards and Roan. Man, you know what I'm saying? Roan did his thing really well. He did what he was supposed to do. He took advantage of them unlimited rounds and shit. He had a lot of good flow and energy. Awkwards lyrically, he surprised me on his content was a lot better than he ever did, I think. And I feel like the first two rounds were really close. I kind of had Awkwards. I was leaning towards Awkwards more up to the third round. And then the third round, it kind of just blew up at it, and then it just kind of went to Roan around that third round. But I kind of had Awkwards going, you know what I'm saying? If Awkwards stayed consistent as those first two rounds, he probably could have won that. And they would have been like doing some hard shit to do, as hard as it is for him to have gone to New York after all them battles he took.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when I watched it, because it was kind of like Awkwards was expecting this bad reaction, and he actually got cheers and just waiting for the lines. And I think that's why some of his bars didn't hit, because he was preparing to fight with the crowd, but the crowd wasn't fighting with him.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where he kind of messed up his game plan. And I also wanted to ask you, well, I don't know if you could leak results or not. I haven't got a chance to see it 2-on-2. But I've heard it's a body. How bad of a body is it? And did Swave kind of disrespect D-Rex by some of the stuff he said? I haven't seen it, but I heard it was like pretty bad.
I mean, and honestly, I might have to go back and look at the tape now, because it's funny, in that part of the pay-per-view streaming, it kind of was going in and out. It was fucking up at the time. I don't know if it had to do with that Mayweather fight being the exact same time, but it was some reason I couldn't catch all the bars. So, you know what I'm saying? I might have to just see if I can go back and look at the tape because I can't give you a positive answer on that one, 2-on-2. I heard it was real dope, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I didn't really hear much rumors of a body or anything, but I might have to go back and look. I might, just to make sure, I even get your side of the story right now, because you might have heard shit that I don't even know of yet.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that the cage match, Hugo, have you got a chance to check out the cage match with Storm and Disaster?
I have not. I lost my internet connection a while ago, so yeah, I haven't.
I think that the cage match, you really stood out in that. That was your last match, right? The third back down and the Disaster.
No, I had a few after that.
On Grind Time?
Yeah, after that battle, I battled Caustic in California. Then I went to Atlanta 4 days later, and I battled Sid Vicious, which I shouldn't have took those battles in such a close time span, but it still went down good. It went good, so.
Well, I do apologize. I have not seen those two. But your battle with Disaster, I mean, you kind of like just owned, those two MCs, and I feel like if you went up against Real Deal, you would have owned him. Yet you don't get the views of the Disaster and stuff. Why are you so underrated? And like you said, you're the first rapper to be on World Star from Grind Time. So, I mean, does it ever frustrate you?
No, I mean, you got to think of it as everyone is already a big deal in their own town. And the Florida battle scene wasn't as, what's the word? They had a lot of sick MCs, but the actual fan base here wasn't that aware of what goes down in that scene. Not like California, where they had been supporting their local battlers for years. So no matter what, them California battles and the fans show up to the events and they support their battlers to give you those views. I mean, there's people that are famous in California just off of their California fans. and nothing more, just local stars. And the same with New York, you know what I'm saying? They're real knowledgeable on who's doing what in that area, and that's why you could tell, like, certain rappers in certain areas have just strong hitting views all the time. I mean, and that, not even to say that, because you could be a rapper from anywhere and still be a public figure that everyone loves. Honestly, my image was, the thing about me is because I was more unknown to the world and only really known in Florida as much as ripping a lot of freestyle battles on beats, which is why I was always good on beats, but they didn't know who I was. So when they see me battling everybody that was their favorite rappers and doing good against them, I wasn't going to get that open arm reception because my whole goal jumping into battles was to battle who was the hottest person at the time. Every battle I took it as who is the best competition right now. I mean, when I battled High Collide, he was on an undefeated streak. I wanted to, squash that, so I battled High Collide. Same thing with Thesaurus. He's Thesaurus. You need to say nothing more. Battled him. Locksmith was on a hot streak. Nobody was beating him from grind time. Stepped up and handled that one. Same thing with Satire. Got there. Real Deal was undefeated and shit. Got to him. I mean, any rapper that was on a hot streak, Dirt, when I battled Dirt from upstate and he came down south, anybody, Asaya Boy from Atlanta, he was after 106 in Park, the best rapper in Atlanta at the time. Anyone who's at the top spot, I want to just show you that I could humble them, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. In most cases, I get flown out to their hometown to do it, but when you can win over their crowd and shit, that's when you can show that you're really stepping up.
Right.
I was actually shocked about the Real Deal situation. Go on, Hugo.
Yeah, no, you mentioned, being famous in your own hometown and whatnot. This is something that I haven't brought up before, but I wanted to, address it and get your perspective on it. It seems to me, and this is just my outside perspective, it seems to me that the talent pool as far as the Midwest is growing exponentially while the talent pool in New York is on, a steady decline. And I don't mean, the quality in talent. I just mean, the many talents that are coming out of New York. There aren't too many new New York cats out there, but there are a lot of, new Midwest dudes on the rise, like Calico, Midwest Miles, X Factor, crap, I can't even remember his name. But, so does that seem, is that something that you see, or am I wrong in that perspective, or what's your take on it being in the battle world?
That basically you're saying that how the Midwest is coming up really strong right now.
Yeah.
In comparison to others. I mean the way I'm seeing it now, and this is just as of recent, as of very recent, you could tell there's a lot of new energy, and I wasn't even thinking so much the Midwest. I was thinking like Atlanta, and they were really on a strong rise. Niggas like the Atlanta divisions that have when they start just dropping John to Don, Bricks Belvedere, Richard Cranium, Caveman Brown, their name, their roster all of a sudden, with Star Almighty and all these cats started just getting huge. And then I see New York was getting strong, obviously. New York was starting to build up better names, too. And then the DMV in between, you got to understand, DMV and upstate New York were really throwing in some good rappers in the mix. I mean, coming out of upstate, you'd have fucking Troy Brown, A-Class. I mean, not upstate, DMV, because they're really in that area, but they battle in grind time East Coast. I mean, the whole East Coast was having, Rio. There's a lot of names that are catching that buzz, and Dirt in them, and all these cats now that are getting more notoriety. I mean, you don't see as much talk on the Florida or the West Coast anymore, whereas that used to be the strongest buzzing point, and everyone else was weaker. Now everywhere else they're getting stronger. I mean, even those other battle leagues are starting to step up, like Colorado battles and shit with Mr. Biscuit and them. They're starting to show that they can hang. Like the Biscuit and Fresco battle. That was a good look for them and shit. But I mean, there's a lot of divisions that's coming up, and it's all due to who's the hungry rappers. I mean, and how they're getting pushed. There's a lot of good talent everywhere, but if you can't round them up for people to see, you'd never know about them. Like the same way that Direct approached me because he knew me when Grind Time first started. If not, he didn't approach me, I would have never known about it, and I wouldn't have been a part of it until later, and that wouldn't have had the same impact it did now. I wouldn't even have been nowhere near as known just because, it just depends on who you really grab. You got to find that talent everywhere, and people are stepping up in those divisions. And the Midwest, I think they have a lot of crazy talent, even in their Chicago battle rap grounds, man, like fucking Young Cannon and Pooh and them. that's a lot of bars right there that people just don't really look into, but at least they're getting that URL shine because that's the kind of angle they take, but it's definitely on the come up.
Okay, Storm. And I wanted to ask you this, too, because, you seem real grateful about the Rack every time you talk about him. And then, I'm going back to the Lush video again one more time. He said that some of the rappers that he helped build helped the other companies win, And it's like, do you look at a Cortez or a DNA, and do you look at them as disloyal, or do you just look at them as, they're getting their money?
I can't blame them, and it's a little of both in the sense that, you got to pay dues to the people that got you in that position, and that's where I can understand why Lush was more frustrated, too, because, they would have never been known if it wasn't for those people making moves to get them known and shit like that. And that's a lot of money invested that, they just put in to help build up you, obviously, and build up themselves in the buzz, but a lot of people got to pay dues, and since they're already at that position they want to be in, you know what I'm saying, they don't have to. Smack is really good at keeping artists strictly to Smack, and that's the thing. Once you go Smack, it's almost impossible to go back because they don't let you. They just don't want their artists going into other spots after creating their buzz and getting the views that they've gotten from Smack as well. But, it's just like paying dues. For example, when I went out to California to battle Thesaurus, I didn't let the one pay my way that time. I didn't ask. They offered to pay my way and all that shit, and I was like, nah, I'll pay my own way because I want to go out there and show that I'm about this shit. And then from that one move is when everyone else started trying to fly me out everywhere, and I took those because, I already showed my interest and paid my dues that I'm willing to do it on my own. I just want to do it to do it. And a lot of rappers are on that diva shit now that they want money and incredible amounts of money like they're worth all that, which you could ask for anything. I don't ask for shit. They know me. As soon as they call me up, you don't got to really give me shit. Just send me out there, and I'm there.
Well, you got $5,000 for the paid dues battle, right?
Paid dues was $1,000, and that was on some prize shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was just a prize for winning it. It wasn't even included in any of my plans, you know what I'm saying? The trip and everything was all I needed. The experience in front of 30,000 people plus, and the whole fucking venue was already all I wanted, to promote the name. But the prize money is just that shit that made it all, that icing on the cake for all of us to try a little harder.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw a name at you. Hugo, I want you to help me with this segment. I'll throw a name at him. You tell me what you think. Hugo's gonna throw a name at you. Tell him what you think. Let's try to keep it short. We only got 6 minutes left on the show. My first name would be Hollowhand. You talked about Hollow already. Hollowhand.
I think Hollowhand's the man, bro. Honestly, when I first heard of King of the Dot, it was because of Hollowhand. And I think he's dope. I think he's underrated out there in his own division and shit. They just don't, fans turn your back on you quick after a loss or whatever, but I think he's one of the best out there still. That was actually the first dude I was trying to battle out there in Canada, but me and him, and I talked to him about it, but me and him both had some legal shit, so he couldn't come to the States and vice versa, so
yeah,
that's cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rome.
What did you say?
Roan.
I said Roan.
Oh, Roan. Oh, okay, Roan. I think Roan is definitely on the come up. He became a fan favorite, and he definitely did introduce a lot of people that don't even listen to battle rap, just because he's, like he was saying, he's that image of what a lot of the so-called net nerds or people at home, most of the crowd or the viewers are. He's like representing for all of them or whatever. But Roan's a beast. I mean, he kind of convinced me when I seen his battles with he did really good against Rugged and fucking a couple other battles where Roan, and Kid Caustic. I mean, Roan definitely proved that he's up there with anybody. That's why he was even able to get, just working with Awkwards and shit. That's a good look. I mean, Roan is good. I think Roan's dope.
Math Hoffa.
Math is one of my favorites, if not my favorite out of Smack, period. One of my favorite battle rappers, period, is Math. People don't know about Math. He gets so much hate from a lot of people that just don't know shit because, Math was one of the innovators back in like '99 when I saw this DVD movie. It was like a low-budget movie called Rat Wars. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was the first movie that kind of 8 Mile took its whole shit from, basically. But it's people battling in an underground freestyle scene, and Math was the main character. And this is before Math became really popular. Math smashed in that whole movie and showed how a lot of battle rappers live their lives and shit. And since then, Math was always on a tear. I got more respect for Math than just about any rapper out there.
24/7.
24/7 is the man. He's a real humble dude out here and shit. I'd like to see him battle more, but I know he doesn't like to because he feels like he doesn't get his fair shake, and he normally doesn't. 24/7 gets overlooked a lot. Lines go over heads, and he feels disrespected when he doesn't get the wins he feels he deserves. And I can't hate on that, you know, because he really puts in a lot of work in his penmanship, and it doesn't all get appreciated. But I think he's a beast regardless, and the real MCs recognize that.
Okay,
I can do that.
Okay, so obviously we got 4 minutes left. I just want you to promote any music you got coming up, anything that you want to say, anything you want to get off your chest. It seems like there's a lot more to talk to you about. I hope that you could join us for a second one later on down the line as we start to build. But, yeah, go ahead. Any CDs coming out?
Yeah, no, I already got the mixtape is out there for free. I got 5 mixtapes out, but this one's the one I'm pushing the most because it's going to bring everybody that didn't know about me. You can get to know me more. It's the best of Jonny Storm. It's already available, panicvision.com. Not about the views or nothing like that. It's just about fucking just listen to my shit. Panicvision.com. Go to the mixtape section. You're going to see the best of Jonny Storm. It's just 31 tracks of beast shit. Fucking beast shit. I got the EP on Bandcamp, johnnystorm.bandcamp.com. No H's in Jonny Storm, just johnnystorm.bandcamp.com. Shit's beasting right there. You see the EP on some original music, you'll see what I'm about. The album is coming. I've been promising the album for over a year now, but, you know, with the features I got on the album, I'm not trying to put out no half-ass work. It's got Joel Ortiz, Freeway, Terminology, AZ. I mean, the names are already stacked on it. I'm just trying to make sure that when it comes out that everyone's going to know about it and just promote it right. But it's still coming. Heads is going to be waiting for that. It's called The Forecast. After that one, we go with The Calm Before the Storm, then The Eye of the Storm. They're already mapped out. Albums is just stacked. But definitely got to check out all the music. That's really what I do it for. The fucking YouTube channel is One Shotters, YouTube/One Shotters. And fucking, yo, we getting it in, man. The Twitter now, just got Twitter. I didn't give a fuck about Twitter before, but I see a lot of rappers networking on it, so I was like, I got Twitter like a couple of days ago, so you're going to see me with like a couple hundred fucking followers, but regardless, just got it, put heads onto it. It's Jonny Storm OS. That's one shot, basically. Jonny Storm OS, that's Twitter. That's everywhere to get at me. You can fucking find me on Facebook if you're trying to build. I fuck with all real rappers.
That's it. Twitter, Facebook, and go ahead, Hugo. Parting words for Jonny.
No, it's just thanks a lot for doing this, man. It was definitely a good look coming out and whatnot. I'm wishing you luck with the album, all that good stuff. Looking forward to hearing from you. Looking forward to knowing more about, seeing more of your battles and whatnot. And I just hope you one day come out the King of the Dot, because that would be a really good look. I'm looking forward to that. Just really good look for doing this, man. Thank you.
No doubt, bro, and thanks for having me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, right when you asked me, I support that real hip-hop shit, bro. If y'all try to move forward, let's do it together.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna put out YouTube. We're gonna put up a YouTube with the interview. Send that information to you, John. Thanks for stopping by. He battled Thesaurus, real deal. He won the Paid Dues concert. Jonny Storm, if you don't know him, check him out. First rapper from any battle league to make it on World Star. Is that correct?
Shit, bro. I don't even know if it's any. I'm sure there's been rap battles on World Star before, probably involving fights. But,
first grind time battle to make it on World Star.
Yeah, and shout out to Red Bull. I'll be going to Red Bull next week in Miami, fucking to see if I win that road to 8 Mile again and decide to go back to Detroit and represent.
Okay, don't throw down the mic and walk off the stage.
No DNA.
I'm actually a fan of DNA. All right, Hugo Strange, thanks for being here. for being here.
Anytime,
and we'll catch up with you guys hopefully next week. Thanks.